Hi everyone. Hi, Sonny. How are you?
Hello, hi. I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me today and hosting me today.
Yeah,
Happy New
so
Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Sonny. So, very good afternoon for everyone. Welcome to the very first webinar of 2023 from behalf of Peak Blockchain. So, yeah, we know 2022 has been a roller coaster for entire crypto space and blockchain, with multiple brand followings and lots of challenging times ahead for for the entire blockchain space. So, yeah, it was a challenging task, but I believe, Sony, and I guess you agree with me that, somewhere Web3, NFT, and, has been, kind of a breather for everybody or for many, or maybe not. That's what we are going to address today, like whether they have been turning out what they seems to be or not. That we'll be addressing today definitely. And along with the great words Web3 and NFT, will be definitely addressing certain issues regarding the sustainability of the blockchain. So here we are today to have a very interesting and intellectual conversation around Web3 NFT. This is Dr. Tanuja, a senior research analyst from Peak Blockchain, and today we have with us a very renowned influencer and personality, Sonny Mohanty, who is a great contributor, in shaping the entire industry. So very warm welcome, Ms. Sony, and to our entire audience. Thanks a lot, for being with us, and I'm really happy to have you on with us for such a wonderful start for this new year to start with a great webinar. So please, Ms. Sony, she is a co-founder, investor, and CMO of Bitcoin Exchange and KuCoin company, where she had been bestowed with the responsibility for businesses in India, Dubai, and Singapore. Along with the global expansion, along with these, she has also been overseeing the global expansion efforts for Bitcoin, and she has spearheaded and launched Bitcoin services of the exchange and blockchain development consulting firm. So a very warm welcome, Sony, to our webinar, and it's great having you with us. And you have been, among one of the great personalities who is contributing very significant, who's contributing in the industry and have been, shaping the industry with your unique ways. So it would be, really great if you tell something to our audience about yourself and how you were fascinated about the industry and how you entered the entire blockchain space and crypto space. So do tell something about yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Tanuja, first of all, for that lovely introduction. So, as you rightly said, I'm a founder. I founded a crypto exchange, a trading platform, after working with one of the exchanges for over 4 years. So, basically, I just want to say how I started this journey and how I entered this crypto space, because it's something not that I intended to do. It's like, today, if you ask people, they would say they want to join Binance or they want to join a Kraken. But back in the days, I had no clues. So I actually stumbled into this space by accident. Before that, I was working in the finance industry, and when I heard about Bitcoin and the ICO, which is the initial coin offering, and similar other cryptocurrency, I started researching on them. And I started my research by attending all those events, which were taking place at various countries in Southeast Asia. So after I attended and researched, I started learning more about this technology, and I saw its potential. Then I got hooked for sure. So since then, it was like, I think back in 2016, 17. Since then, when I sort of got hooked on, I have been actively involved in the space of crypto, blockchain, and now Web3, helping build projects and also do educational awareness about this a lovely technology, and Web3 now, and also the cryptocurrencies. So what happened is, as I was helping other projects, I decided to I actually decided to take the plunge and start my own crypto trading exchange. That was kind of bold of me, I would say, at that point in time. I never knew what I was getting into, but I think it was a very good move. In the hindsight, I would say it's a very good move. I got a lot of exposure to the product side of exchange, market making, working with tokens, um, so on and so forth. So I'm passionate about helping this industry grow, and I'm excited to see where this journey that I started takes me. Thank you.
Oh, that's really fascinating and inspiring, Sony. You talking about your success. I'm definitely sure a lot of people, coming around in the webinar is really going to, have the risk to plunge, have a risk and definitely take a plunge like you did. So it's really inspiring. So while you talk about your success, Sony, are they like what is there like how your company looks like, and what exactly are you currently working on? Are there any interesting topic do you think you are currently working or you might be working in the later half?
Yeah. So see, I have this crypto exchange trading platform, right? So I know in and out about the exchange from a business perspective, and not so much, I would say, from the back end technology. But yes, I'm learning. I'm there. I'm trying to learn and be a subject matter expert on that. I'm still learning. However, I just met a project. I was in India a couple of days back. So this project, what are they doing? They're tokenizing carbon credits on the blockchain, and sort of they explained me the entire life cycle, starting with they're doing a POC right now and everything. So obviously, we are going to collaborate on. I'm going to collaborate with that company. Um, so so basically, how blockchain technology can be used to track and verify the carbon credits. So for the audience, I do not know what kind of audience we have, but I would like to just take a step back and explain what carbon credit is, because this is very new space for me as well, the ESG space. And carbon credits is a small subset of that space. And it's very interesting what I heard and what I saw. So carbon credits are basically, in layman terms, is a form of currency that can be used to offset carbon emissions. So they are like a tradable certificate or a permit, which representing a right to emit, for instance, 1 ton of carbon dioxide or the equivalent amount of other greenhouse gases. So these credits, or the carbon credits, are bought and sold between governments, companies, and organizations, and can be used to offset emissions from activities like we are burning fossil fuels or deforestation. So this is what the carbon credit is, and I was not very much into the space, but then I came to know about the challenges to track and verify these carbon credits and how this technology that we call the blockchain can help. So there are a few challenges that the current market faces. One of the challenges is inaccurate data, right? Accurate and up-to-date data is essential for tracking and verifying the carbon credits, but it is often very difficult to access or verify traditionally. So hence, I just came to know that blockchain technology can help, because blockchain provides an immutable ledger, right, that records all the transactions very accurately. So the problem that we are facing with inaccuracy in data, that can be resolved. Another very important point with the space is fraud. So this carbon credits are quite vulnerable to fraud and manipulation, and that's why it becomes very difficult to detect and prevent. Hence, the technology comes in play. The blockchain provides an immutable ledger, and for which it's very hard to commit a fraud. So again, I want to emphasize on liquidity as well. Market liquidity. How liquid are these carbon credits? you'd be very surprised to know that these carbon credits are illiquid, which means it makes it difficult to trade them and verify their value. So by putting them on blockchain, by tokenizing carbon credits, the buyers and sellers can easily access credits and track their ownership. So making the market more liquid. When things are easily available, it becomes liquid, right? So yeah, so these are some of the challenges that were shared, and how the technology is helping. And another thing I want to add, that currently without blockchain there is lack of transparency in the system. So many of these transactions that are done now without the technology are opaque, so difficult to track and verify. So hence, blockchain has helped to provide a transparency and an auditable system. So it provides a layer to track and verify the carbon credits. So yeah, this is a very new project that I have just started working with. And hopefully as we go, I'm going to share more maybe later on another webinar.
Definitely, Sonny, carbon trading in something, and carbon credit is something that's that we really look forward, because energy integration of energy and technology is one of a thing that we really are looking forward. So I really hope and I really wish you all the best for all your upcoming projects. And it was quite insightful about I guess for our audience as well, that what lies ahead in terms of sustainability in the blockchain space, definitely. So yeah, it's great knowing you, Sonny, in terms of your professional work and projects. So coming back to our webinar, and the topics that we need to revolve around our webinar. Let's dive into that, I believe. So I hope our audience is also ready for to start a real conversation with Sonny. I would really like to start, sorry, with one of the most buzzword that have been consistent with 2022 and have been making a lot of noise and having a lot of potential probably in the 2023 market as well. That is Web3, and I hope you agree with me on this aspect. So mentioning it, Web3 is at very at very initial stage, and but looking into the space with which the big brands like Starbucks, Meta, Instagram, Twitter, Delta, Louis Vuitton, IBM, and so many big brands have been investing into it. So what do you think? Why there have been such an increment in the increment in the investment in the Web3 technology? Is it merely a competitive strategy for the survival, or it's like who can win the new technology, or do you think that it may fall out? It's a mere hype that may fall if the hype goes low. So what are your views on entire Web3 technology and the investment that is going around?
That's a very great question, and yet a very tricky question. We can't forecast the future, but whatever potential I've seen, I can just speak on those lines. So Web3, what is Web3? Web3 is a new age of internet, right? In a simple term. And the reason it has gained a lot of attention due to its potential to revolutionize the way we interact with the web, which is the internet, the way you and me are interacting today, right? And we have the audience as well. So it offers a decentralized platform, a secure and open platform to run applications on top of it. And I think this functionality of Web3 is going to disrupt many business models, as we know, as we understand this technology is evolving every day, I would say. And as users, you and me, we have more control over the data that we have today. Like with the like Facebook, obviously you are posting your photos, Instagram, everything. But if you control what you post, like a user, then it's nothing like that, right? Currently, it's Facebook who's controlling everything. So in that sense, it has a lot of potential. And also, you have to understand in Web3, when it comes to digital identities, you can manage your own digital identities and assets, as opposed to a Web 2, right? So these are, I would say, based on these attributes, or the potential that Web3 promises, it has led to a lot of money pouring down into the space. Um, so, but however, I have to also add something. Okay, when you're investing into, like, you had the gold rush, then you had a Bitcoin rush, then you had all the crypto hype meme coins rush. So there are always risks associated with investing into any technology, right? I mean, we can't just overlook the risk. Um, so some of the risks that I would also like to highlight, you know, so these risks are all these risks include, but not limited to, are, sorry, technological risks that we're talking about. Uh, so this technology is still very complex, and a potential of for the and full of potential of bugs as well. There are potential of bugs as well. So being complex and having bugs is something that we need to take into account. I mean, if it is going to stand to what it's going to promise. And second, I would say regulatory risk, because you see different countries are struggling to establish how to regulate the space since Bitcoin was born, right? So it's a big challenge everywhere. Um, and third point, I can address what I see and what I feel is a market risk. That includes the fluctuations in the price of digital assets. With a simple example of Bitcoin, if you can see, the price has fluctuated a lot. Um, so to any investor, anybody who is planning to invest into a Web3 project, I would suggest reach out to people who have invested, have the experience, have the knowledge, to guide you through the process. And but if you are doing it on your own, so please do your own research and understand what are the risks associated. Okay, it's very important to understand the risks which are associated with this technology. Obviously, it's quite promising. It has a lot of potential. It has made a lot of promises, but we'll see. Thank you.
Definitely, Sony. Yeah, technological risk and market risk are one of the major macro level risks that one should consider before investing. So but talking about the technological risk, you mentioned, so we have Internet of Things that have been, that when we have terms like AI, VR, Internet of Things. These are the devices in business and in our daily lives that has been growing with a very staggering rate. And there are a number of companies, global companies that have that have built their connections, and it is expected to grow to 27 billion by 2025. So yeah, so like there are very other dominant Web 2 companies and platforms that are building so many things over IoT. They are building so many things. So how do you think, with the emergence of this Web 3, or the third iteration of the internet, how it's going to represent this major shift that is taking place, and how possibly do you think that fundamentally IoT can integrating Web 3 and IoT can fundamentally change how business work, like how they can go hand to hand, if coming, talking in a very simple language. Do you really consider that IoT and Web3 can go hand to hand, and and if it can go, so what are the ways that they both together can transform the industry?
Again, that's a very good question, and I was actually at a conference back in November. I was attending. This was conducted by the government of Karnataka, and the conference was all about textile industry, the challenges which are faced in the textile industry in India and overseas. And when you talk about textiles, you have the weavers and the artisans who are behind this industry, right? The real backbone of this industry. So a very, very, very informative, conference. And my takeaways from that conference was that it's it's not only blockchain technology, it's not only Web3 that can play a role alone in solving the challenges that we have in certain sectors. I would say energy sector. So we have to bundle Web3, IoT, and blockchain to create a secure and automated energy grid. What does that do? That will allow for efficient distribution of renewable energy. And again, I'm talking about sustainable energy, which would help reduce energy waste and promote sustainability in the long term. So again, these are the three technologies which has to come together, the blockchain and the IoT, to deliver results. Another would be food traceability. Just similar to textile industry. I mean, textile is just one part of supply chain, but food traceability. I think these technologies bundled together, blockchain and IoT, they can create a secure and transparent food traceability system, the system, is going to track food from farm to the table, okay, providing consumers with detailed information about the origin of their food and help to reduce food waste. Sometimes what happens, back in the days, you used to just buy something from the supermarkets labeled as organic, even understanding what is organic. But now you have the power to know it is really organic. So that's the technologies that can help is both blockchain and IoT. Supply chain management, as we know, is basically, this is the industry which is going to be disrupted by both these technologies, because blockchain combined with IoT can be used to create a secure and transparent supply chain management system. And this system can help to reduce waste, inefficiencies in the supply chain, which will eventually help businesses to become more sustainable. And on that note, waste management as well. You can create a automated waste management system, which will reduce waste and improve efficiency, obviously, allowing better waste management practices. So I think these technologies, IoT, blockchain, combined together, and AI, I'll just add artificial intelligence, are a very powerful combination to disrupt many industries. And yeah, thank you.
Yeah, beautifully said, Sonny. Talking about the technology, we definitely, we may have certain kind of disruption, I believe, while we work. And I believe that, while we work towards Web3 and more decentralized version of internet, we do not face, any disruption like that.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
1 second.
No worries. That's what I believe. We are talking about the technology, that we may have certain disadvantage with that as well. So yeah. That's a part and parcel of the technology, I guess.
Yeah.
Having disrupted connections, I guess. Yeah, that's a part. So I believe our audience agree with us. So coming to our audience, we will be having a short Q&A at the end of the session. If you have your questions, please, keep it with with yourselves, and we'll definitely, taking some time out for you people to ask your questions and doubt with the speaker. And I guess she will be more than happy to answer your questions. So please, sit back tight and do wait for the end of the session to have our Q&A session. So diving back, to our talks, Sonny. Yeah, other than Web3, we also got to witness a hype and rise and fall about NFT. It has become one of the significant pillar of the entire ecosystem. That simultaneously witnessed some good time and some bad time in the market. The sales got reduced due to the hit to the bearish market. but existingly, if we scrutinize the global sales, according to Crypto Slam, what we are witnessing an increment in the global NFT sales by 45%, and I guess that's a very decent number, to start with. And in the past 30 days, it's like ending towards December and a good start with January 2023. We have been witnessing a very good number in witnessing an increment in the very good number of the sales, right? But on the other side, if we say, we have been witnessing reduction in the number of buyers, that have been not a very huge margin, but yes, there have been fall in the number of buyers. But then again, there have been brands that are adopting NFT with a very huge pace. So my question to you, Sonny, here is about, with this ongoing rise and fall around NFT, how do you perceive, 2023 for NFT? Are they going to stay there? Are they going to, they definitely, provide the way to monetize, the revenue. They are providing a unique way to monetize the revenue. So what, according to you, think that, are they going to stay here or what?
That's again, it's a very fantastic question, and I have myself worked with one of the industry, the play to earn gaming NFT space. See, this market is too crowded now. I mean, I'm not talking about back in the days, but currently I see everybody is in the space of NFT or metaverse. This space is very crowded. So if you ask me the future, like maybe 5 years down the lane, what is it's going to look like, I would say I do not know. It's uncertain. I would say. Sorry, it's not. I wouldn't say it's, I don't know. I would say it's uncertain. But this space is very exciting and lucrative. Um, so they have become very popular. NFTs in itself have become very popular, and we have seen a wide variety of applications, from art, digital art, to gaming and all that sort of things. So once it is established, the real use of NFTs, and we see a impact, then I think more and more Web2 industries will begin to adopt this technology, as which is the non-fungible tokens. And once they become more widely accepted and understood, I think it's probably going to be there for a longer time. It is possible that the technology will evolve as well to become more versatile and powerful, so that we have a space for innovation. So currently, I would say kind of uncertain, just the future, but technology has a lot of potential.
Definitely, Sonia, I totally agree with you on this point. You mentioned about gaming and play to earn, and in 2022 has witnessed a lot of adoption of NFT in a sports, basically is in a sports industry and gaming industry. So do you think that there are what can be the plausible other potential use cases that we can expect around NFT in coming years?
Yeah, that's something I wanted to add on. Glad that you asked. What I've seen is digital ticketing. All these conferences you attend. So NFTs can be used there to create digital tickets for events, such as concerts, sports. You watch sports, games, and conferences. How does that help? This would eliminate the need for physical tickets. I mean, I don't know how much conferences you attend. I attend a lot of physical conferences as well. In the past, there's a lot of hassle with holding a physical ticket, right? And if you lose a ticket, then obviously, either you have to again register or queue up to get another ticket. And also there's a lot of fraud happening. I have seen people exchanging tickets at the conferences. So what happens if we digitize it using NFT? It makes easier to keep track of the ticket sales, prevent frauds from buying, scalpers from buying up the tickets and reselling them at a higher price, right? I mean, that is one that is one use case I definitely see is going to be. I have already seen projects who are issuing digital tickets for these conferences. And digital collectibles, I think this is going to stay, like virtual trading cards. Art is obviously one of the prominent use case, and real estate. Putting real estate on the metaverse, on NFT is something which is coming up. I have seen quite a bit of project on that, successfully implementing it as well. What happens is that when you virtually put real estate into NFT, this would allow people to collect and trade digital items without having to worry about counterfeit and fraud. That obviously gets resolved on the way, and that leads to digital ownership, right? That is interlinked. So NFTs can be again used to create digital ownership of the physical assets such as cars, boats, and houses. And that would make it easier to transfer ownership of these assets without having go through a traditional paper-based process, which is subject to a lot of error and fraud. And again, last but not the least, I would say gaming. I mean, one of the uh, most successful use case that we have seen thus far is digital gaming in video games, allowing players to own virtual items and trade them with other players, right? Play to earn games. So this is obviously created an entirely new economy within the gaming world, which gives them new types of games and experiences. So yeah, for me, these are some of the top use cases of NFTs.
Definitely, Sony. I literally agree with to you all on all of these points. I guess gaming is definitely in top of the list for the upcoming industry that that can create a huge difference by adopting NFT. Just a little bit update for my audience. Today itself, Polygon is entering into lots of Web3 gamings, and Fractlet is one of the that started with Solana, that started its streaming gaming platform streaming on Solana, is now converting and expanding its hands towards the Polygon. So yeah, I believe lots of developer are looking forward, gaming developer are looking forward
Yeah.
towards the gaming. So I definitely believe, yeah, this is going to be one of the blooming industry if it uses NFT and all the technology in an educate and in a very transparent way. So Sony, other than NFT definitely, it's going to be huge, and it will be paving way for a very unique revenue model for the business. But what other than NFT is there for the industry? What other trends can we look forward, in 2023 that can possibly reshape the industry? Because with with the backlashes of crypto and lots of good brands and great exchanges falling out, so what are the other possible trends that we can look forward to reshape the industry?
So I would say it's already started, and that I have already seen it, experienced it. So the widespread adoption will of this blockchain-based solutions will be in the enterprise space, B2B. So NFTs are B2C, and we're talking about the consumer market. But the most widespread adoption, which is already started, is in the enterprise space. So technology continues to mature and becomes more reliable. Businesses, you'll see the enterprises will start looking to use it, create more secure, efficient, and cost-effective solutions. Some of them have already started, and this is going to remain for another 5 to 10 years. Another space I see is still holding tight, even though decentralized finance was, again, not something new, but still it's holding tight. So DeFi applications, again, are becoming more and more popular. And I think in the next coming years, they continue to gain traction as people become more aware of the potential DeFi solutions. Um, Web 2 shift to Web 3, I mean, greater integration of Web 2, Web 3, blockchain technology integration into existing systems, supply chain, as I said, data storage, identity management. So all these Web 2 companies are gradually understanding the potential and integrating with blockchain technology. Another is, again, stands very strong in this space is decentralized apps, dApps. That we've heard about dApps, and dApps are still becoming more popular. And we see developers, as you said, Polygon, are also increasingly looking to create more new and innovative applications using the blockchain technology. Last, I would say NFT would still evolve, will stay and evolve, I think, and gaming again. I mean, gaming is a space where I see, from a consumer perspective, the B2C market still holds very strong. in the space. Yeah.
Definitely, Sonia, I totally agree to this thing that, customer B2C market, it
Yeah.
plays a very pivotal and significant role in the mass adoption and although, possible trends that can shape the industry, definitely. Sonia, you mentioned about, switching from Web 2 to Web 3. So I would like to,
Yeah.
I would like you to shed some light on this thing and talking about, not, as an analyst, it's not only our duty to show the good part of any technology. It's very important that we have a good critique around, the technology.
Yeah.
I certainly believe, highlight the critics of, the technology that we continue to talk about is scalability or energy issues. So this is my point of view. I believe these are the these are some critiques that are not very real. That comes with the package, and definitely people are working around it. They are important. I'm not denying to the fact that they are not important, but I believe they are something that is very inherited to the technology. So
Right.
we really need to work on that. Definitely, there
Yeah.
are a lot of intelligent people, and developers that are working around it. But coming to the grassroots level and coming to the, talking about the people, layman people who want to switch towards Web3.
Yeah.
So what challenges do you think that company might face, or while adopting to Web3 or switching to the Web3?
Yes, that's again a very relevant question in today's time. And many companies are actually, there are many intermediaries who are actually helping this Web 2 to transition from Web 2 to Web 3. And I would like to share a few points because I personally believe these are the real challenges. Lack of knowledge and expertise. When you're working in a Web 2 and do not have the expertise in the Web 3 technology, you obviously rely on an external provider, right? And Web 3 is still very nascent, very still very early stages, and many companies also who claim that they are already full-fledged in the Web 3, they lack the knowledge and expertise. So that's number one, right? The knowledge gap. Security concerns, as we know, like with any new technology, security remains a major concern for companies when it comes to Web3 adoption. High costs, because it's new, we still do not have the knowledge and expertise. It's still relatively expensive to implement and maintain, right? Again, regulatory uncertainty that sort of follows through. Uh, this technology is, I mean, largely unregulated, and I think the legal landscape as we speak is still evolving. Okay, so when regulatory landscape is when its landscape is unregulated and the legal landscape is evolving, makes it very difficult for the Web 2 companies who are used to have a central body to assist them to move into the Web 3 space. Even though there are potential benefits, but it's because of lack of these, they are not, they don't see to move into a Web3 naturally. Um, another thing is scalability. Um, so Web3 is, as a technology, is still limited in its ability to scale. So Web3 is still unable to handle large amounts of data. So that's another big challenge for the Web2 big players to move into the Web3 space, right? And last but not least, I would say poor user experience. Web2 companies have a lot of experience in customer, when it comes to customer user experience. Web3 companies are still in very early stages, and the user experience, I would say, is often very clunky, and it's very difficult to use. Like even a MetaMask, if you want to, like you and me probably know how to use MetaMask, but otherwise it's not that simple to integrate a wallet with your a MetaMask wallet to start using it, right? I mean, there are different steps involved. It's not that user friendly, I would say. That's what the kind of feedback I get when I try to tell people, just for the poor user experience, to install a MetaMask wallet or any sort of private wallet. Remembering those password, the big mnemonic characters, some people find it a big hassle. So in terms of that, I think still it's a challenge.
Perfect, Sonny. I really, agree to your points that, a lack of knowledge and awareness and skills definitely one of the, crucial challenge that we really need to face before we, switch to from Web 2 to Web 3, definitely. I just wanted to add a few more things, or I would like to ask you a few more things with, that you already mentioned the challenges and that you already mentioned that they have been, the technology itself in very nascent stage, and it has
Yeah.
its own risk, because it's so new that people are not aware of it, and there is a plausible set of risk that is associated with it. Maybe the risks have been identified, and maybe there are some risks that have not been identified because it has not been, fully functional as of now. And looking back in 2022, there have been so many falls of big exchange, like I'm, continuously mentioning in the entire
Yeah.
webinar. My agenda behind this is, why I'm emphasizing on these, on the certain events, because it
Yeah.
may lead, it may lead to, some set of people who do not advocate these, technology.
Yeah.
Maybe
Mm.
there will be some set of people who are advocating it, and currently I believe we are witnessing a certain hype, and everybody being very pessimist, everybody being very positive about the technology, and entering into entering into the technology. That what I believe we witnessed in crypto when it was in
Yeah.
initial stage. We got a
Right.
lot of project, and we, in this hype, we somehow, the common people, did not see what is coming. We did not see, maybe did not judge the fall that we may have. So, do you think that, certain kind of fall can be there in Web3, or what are the possible development in the coming, in a future, you see for those people who are not advocate of such kind of technology? So, what are your point of views, and having
Yes. So yes, see, technology gets with time. Obviously, technology evolves. Like you see AI today and AI couple of years back, maybe even a year or 2 years ago. A huge difference, right? So in terms of what we see, Chat GPT and all that stuff doing for us, it's going to replace Google, maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But anyways, so there's some of the characteristics of this technology is definitely going to stay for years, and it's going to get adopted in a mass in a mass way. Like today, we see uh, a banking system. We do not question anything what we see today. Similarly, I would say dApps, the decentralized applications or the apps that are built. I see that they are becoming extremely popular because solely because they provide enhanced security, trust, and transparency. So dApps are going to be developed and adopted in the coming years for sure. And technology itself, the blockchain, it has to become more interoperable. And people have already started talking about increased interoperability between the blockchains, between different blockchain networks, is essential for the industry to grow, and that's already happening. And again, more and more scalability is obviously something that is very inherent to blockchain, and developers are working on solutions to increase the capacity, right? Again, improve privacy. Privacy is a key element of the blockchain technology. We can expect in the coming years to see more solutions to improve the privacy of the blockchain networks, right? And what else? I would say tokenization of physical assets, because tokenization of digital assets we've seen, but in my opinion, there will be increased use cases on tokenization of physical assets as well. The converting the real world assets like buildings or any real world asset into digital tokens that can be stored and transferred on a blockchain. So these are some of the aspects of this technology which is definitely going to catch up in the few years in the coming few years, in my opinion.
Definitely, decentralization, social media and decentralization, the apps we are moving towards. I guess there are a lot of investors that are moving towards it, and we have been getting it. We might get introduced with a lot of innovative ideas in the coming future years. One last question, Ms. Soni, I really want to put up is how do you think we can strike a balance, between the people who are advocating the technology and people who do not advocate the technology? Because from my eyes, what I see right now, there have been a lot of hype around it. So are the hypes worth it? Because then what? See, why I am emphasizing on the hype is the hype leads to the unnecessary investment. You yourself mentioned that it's somehow crowded. It's somehow crowd the space, and then ultimately you need a kind of cleaning that leads to the fall, and somewhere the investors have to pay the prices of unnecessary crowding in terms of investment. So how do you think that we can strike a balance between both the things?
So, see, this applies to everything, the hype, right? The fear of missing out, basically. What happens is that when something is, hyping up in the market, we as human beings, we do not want to miss out on the race, right? We don't want to miss out on on that hype cycle, what the hype cycle is actually going. Uh, Again, it comes to experience. We are not new. Blockchain, cryptocurrency, the technologies are not like really, really new. If you talk about a few years back in 2016, 17, when I used to tell my parents about Bitcoin, and they would say, "What is? Are you working in some scams or what? I mean, scamming projects or whatever." But now they know what is a Bitcoin. So you see, it's the knowledge, it's the awareness, right? We are aware what went wrong. Like read in the news, we are made aware, the FTX news as well, the fiasco that happened. People should learn from the mistakes, right? And not to repeat those mistakes. So again, read, gather the knowledge, talk to the experts who are experts in the field. Okay. I mean, I won't say that there will be no room for error, but it's always advisable to seek help from the people who are experts, who have seen the market downturns, and who can advise, who are better placed to advise. So don't go by the media hype. I would honestly advise everybody here, don't go via the media hype. The reason is, I am in the industry, you're in the space of research. You do a research and you gather a lot of data information. But if you go and talk to like um, a person who even doesn't know much about computer, but somebody has told him that you go and invest into this cryptocurrency that is really hyping up in the market. Today you invest 100 rupees worth of that token, 100 rupees, and tomorrow it's going to become like a 1 lakh or something, some big amount, just putting it through. So that person obviously doesn't understand even internet, what he's going to think. He only sees the monetary value, right? And he's putting his money into that. So I think it's us, you, me. We have to educate these people. Even with the digital banking, you see, there is a segment of people who still do not understand how to operate a digital bank. We're still educating people. We are still educating the people, like the small and medium scale industries, the people who work there, or the farmers. I know a friend who has started a startup in onboarding the farmers into a digital platform, and nobody knows. And it's a big task for them to uh, teach them how to people will learn eventually. India has that digital Aadhaar and all that stuff, and it was not there when I was in India, right? But people obviously they learn and they start using these systems, and eventually they learn and they get used to it, right? Similarly, I would say, don't go by the hype which media creates. Seek out help, uh, reach out to the experts, reach out to teams, companies like yourself who do a lot of intensive research, and get people who can actually talk about the technologies, the pros and the cons. So yeah, so that's basically it is.
Very well said, Ms. Soni, that we really need to talk to the certain set of experts who are with us, definitely. And today we have you. So we have one questions from Fazan Salim. So he put a question: can you shed some light on the infrastructure rails that are currently being developed for mass adoption into NFTs as a technology?
Oh, infrastructure rails. Okay. So I don't know if sorry, what's his name again?
Fazan
Yeah.
Salim. I hope
So
you can see that in your screen, over screen, probably in the Q&A box. Yeah.
Okay. And the infrastructure rails that are currently being developed for mass adoption into NFTs as a technology. NFT is a non-fungible token, right? And the way it works is the underlying infrastructure is the blockchain technology, right? Again, I don't think there's anything else that can go into the infrastructure, but it's about the how to optimize that technology, right? The blockchain technology. I think I covered heavily about those attributes that are going to account for the future of this technology and how it's going to drive the transparency, the scalability. All these things are going to come, and this technology is going to evolve. So yeah, so that's my short answer to question. Hopefully, this helps. I have got another question as well.
Yeah, that's from Surbhi Malhotra. Surbhi, do you want to ask the question yourself? Or we may definitely go likewise, Sony, or you can answer it.
So the underlying principles of Web3 make it more secure than Web2, but there may be security concerns originating from way Web3. On those lines, what are the biggest security concerns that Web3 may have? Okay, okay.
Sony, just a second. Before you start answering this question, I would read out the question for our audience as well. So the question asked by Surbhi is: the underlying principle of Web3 make it more secure than Web2, but there may be certain security concerns originating from the way Web3 and Web2 interact. On those lines, what are the biggest security concerns that Web3 may have? Over to you, Sony.
Yeah, hi. Sorry, I was just trying to understand the question a little bit more in depth. So basically, I think if I put it in one line, it's the security concerns that Web3 has, right? I would say phishing attacks is one of the it's a common security concern with Web3, yeah. So and any malicious actors in intercepting and manipulating the data is another big concern in the Web3 space. The smart contract, which is the backbone and the building block of the blockchain, they still have some vulnerabilities. The pieces of code that are used to execute the transactions on the blockchain. So yeah, I would say these are some of the concerns that we have about Web3 security.
Definitely, Sony. I hope the question is very well answered. We have another question from Gautam. Do you think Web3 can witness a fall like crypto?
That's like thinking. That's like predicting the future, huh? So honestly, I do not have a straight answer to this question. I can only say as long as we stick to the principles and learn from our mistakes, we should be good. It's again the principles, the market, the technology, everything ties in together, right? If you go by the hype cycle and you feel like you're missing out on this, then I mean, everybody thinks like that, then obviously it's not going to work out. So learn from the past mistakes and just focus on the use cases and the benefits that the technology has to offer as compared to the technologies in the Web2 space. Work on that, and we should be good.
Definitely, Sonny. I guess having a set of experience, having a conversation with set of people who have certain, a decent amount of knowledge will be a good thing. But the question arises, where do we find the people who have certain, great amount of knowledge? Definitely, people like you are there who are shaping the industry, definitely have a, expertise. But do you think
Yeah.
that, a developer who are actually developing the technology have certain role, while spreading awareness, and do you think that they can contribute towards, certain set of, to an extent, to certain set of, experience that can be, that can be put over the public and to increase the awareness? Do you think that way?
Oh, yes, yes. I see a lot of hackathons, happening all over the Southeast Asia and also India, where developers have come together, and they've started talking about this technology, right? So this is very, very good because back in the days, like, you never seen somebody coming and talking about a C, C++ or Java, right? But everybody, like all these hackathons that I've attended, these are called the developer hackathons by Polygon or Solana or whatever the technology, the blockchain is. So they are given a use case, they are given a task, and they work on that task there and then. And I'm see, I'm not a coder, right? I don't write codes, but if somebody talks to me in a plain English, right? So yeah, obviously I'll understand that. So it has become that these developer seminars and hackathons is very, very useful, I would say. And yeah, hats off to these developers who can write these codes.
Definitely, definitely. That's respect to all the developers. We have, moving on to the next question, we have a question from Nav Roy, who asks, a lot of the NFT transactions are wash trading, sales between the known parties. Do you think this increasing the volume of NFT? I think he's asking about, does wash trading have an impact on the increasing volume of NFT?
Oh, okay. So wash trading does not only include in NFTs in a secondary market. It also happened in crypto market, and wash trading is there everywhere in the crypto stock market as well. So again, that comes to the fundamentals. So where this trading happens on an exchange, right, or an NFT marketplace like OpenSea. So down to those platforms to ensure they pick up this right projects, you know, which are listed on the platform, right? So yeah, it's down to them. I mean, so like I was working for an exchange, so I have seen people doing wash trade and stuff like that. But again, it's up to the owner of this platform, whoever is the founder, to ensure not to have these kind of fake volumes, on the exchange. But this is there. This has been a very inherent problem, honestly. Yeah.
Definitely, Sonny, wash trading has been certain, have certain level of impact on NFT transaction. Definitely, Sonny, we have a lot of question in our Q&A, box, but I believe we need to stop somewhere.
Yeah.
Such interesting conversation. So I would just like to express the gratitude and thanks you with a ton tons of thanks to you for such a detailed and thorough analysis about Web3, NFT, and sustainability aspects of the blockchain. It was great conversating with you. It was a great time, and I would really like to thank our audience, for being such a great listener, and they have been so curious, about everything. So we have kind of good number of questions in our Q&A. So I would just like to say that for any questions, you can reach out to Peak Blockchain, or you can reach out to Sonny Mohanty on LinkedIn. And for updates, for our daily updates, you can subscribe our newsletter, and you can follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, and not to mention, definitely she's there for you.
Yeah.
So before we end the webinar, Sonny, I would really like to have your words of wisdom, any parting thoughts that you want to give us.
Yes. So I was ready for this because this is very crucial before we wrap up. Thoughts. So Web3 is an exciting new technology with limitless potential. These are my thoughts, yeah. And I would really want each of our listeners to embrace this. It is very important to stay up to date on the latest developments and trends in the Web3 space. Read, research, study, enroll yourself to courses. You know, it is very essential to have an open mind and to be willing to explore new ideas. It doesn't matter if you are not you're never late for anything, right? It doesn't matter where you are today. If you have an interest, a passion to learn this technology, be open-minded. These are my thoughts. And words of wisdom: embrace the power of Web3 and use it to create innovative solutions for the developers. All of us, stay curious, stay creative, and never stop learning. Be bold and take risks, and don't be afraid to fail. Thank you.
Definitely, Sonny, that was a great word of wisdom that we should, definitely soak those words into our life. Keep learning, and have the ability to take risk. I guess those are the perfect closing words we can have for such a great, wonderful webinar that we had today. And thank you very much, again, Sonny, for such great session. And thank you, audience, for listening to such a great conversation. Again, do follow us on LinkedIn to Peak Blockchain and Miss Sonny, and Twitter, LinkedIn, and stay updated about everything that is going around. And one way to stay updated is definitely subscribe our newsletter, I guess.
Yes.
So yeah, thank you.
Lastly, I would like to thank you, Tanuja, for your great support. You have immense patience, and you've given me a lot of support through this. We have had multiple calls, and many thanks to you for putting this up so successfully.
Thank you, Sonia. Thank you for such kind words. We are definitely looking forward, to have you, more of such webinars. Very interesting one. So definitely looking forward to work with you. Thank you so much, Sonia.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Please subscribe to our channel on YouTube and other social media so that you can stay up to date with the latest developments in blockchain technology.